Teams have taken it to the field, and we are moments away from getting underway here at Lucas Oil Stadium, the first ever meeting between the Indy 11 and the Charleston Battery. Time now for our starting lineup for the Indy 11, presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, and a very similar lineup to what we saw on Sunday in New York. Again, Mott turnout because of the red card. Juan Guerra gets the nod, and Carlisle Mitchell back in the starting lineup. He missed Sunday's game. He's been dealing with nagging injuries for the last month.
Yeah, you got some pieces that you've put in there, but these are all veteran, accomplished guys. So the level of play shouldn't drop with the changes.
So we are underway. The all-blue home kits for the Indy 11 with the 3 Adidas stripes on each shoulder. The white tops for the Charleston Battery. This Charleston Battery franchise has been in existence since 1993. You know it's impressive when you predate Major League Soccer.
That's just incredible. I mean, you take a look at Anheuser, too. He's been with the club since 94. 24 years with the same club.
They, too, 9 starters that saw action in their 1-1 draw against Nashville SC on Saturday night. And Carl Ouimet, who is playing the right back spot. So he bounces outside because of Brad Ring having to play in the midfield, because of Matt Watson not available for a full 90 minutes. Kevin Venegas got the nod on Sunday. They've got him available as a sub in tonight's game. So a different lineup combination yet again for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and you look at
good service here.
With Venegas being hurt early, Ouimet actually had to play, I think, 2-3 games in this spot. So it's not like it's an unnatural fit for him right now.
Brad Russin, the Crown Point native, gets his second start in as many games for the Indy 11. Time now for our keys of this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
Well, the 11, first thing they have to do is they have to break the press. I think Bethlehem exposed a few things with the pressure that they put the 11 under, and New York followed it up this weekend. There were 28 repossessions that New York got in the 11 half. You just can't have that that statistic repeat itself. Also, there's got to be attention to detail in the box. You know, the ability to finish in the attacking 18 has been poor. And then you take a look at the uncharacteristic play in the back. You had 2 giveaways and then 2 untracked runners. It's got to work in one of the boxes, and you got to make sure you button down the defensive one first. For Charleston, find Guerra. The kid is unbelievably hot. He's so technical. He's so creative. He's so fast. They're excited to see him here on the turf tonight. And then wide play. You look at these 2 teams, and statistically, they're virtually even in every category except 2. Conversion rate in the box and impactful serves from the outside both favor Charleston. If they can keep the ball wide and be dangerous there, they'll be effective tonight.
This Charleston team played to a 1-1 draw on Saturday. Frankly, there weren't many scoring chances for either side in that game. When you play Nashville, that can often be the case. Tula Guerra got the only goal for Charleston that night. There you see Martin Running, his first year as the head coach of the Indy 11. His team far from full strength, and we'll talk about that coming up with the Community Health Injury Report.
I tell you, it's so uncharacteristic. You know, McInerney does not shy away from contact at any level.
Part of that for McInerney is that he's also picked up 4 yellow cards, and he is a yellow away from a 1-match suspension. Once you get to 5, you're parked for a game. The Indy 11 have 2 players that are sitting on 4 for the season. Ioze is the other. Russin, the Crown Point native, tracks it back. No pressure as he heads it to Owine Fawn Williams.
And good communication from Owine with the 2 mix-ups last week and the 2 turnovers. You know, the fact that he comes all the way out and he's in Russin's ear is important.
You're going to look at our injury report presented by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Of that group, Mitchell's in the starting lineup, but none of the other 4 players are. Watson is available as a substitution, but Pasher, Ferreira, and Starikoff all out. And Ferreira and Starikoff have basically been out from April 1st on at this point. Bit of a unique formation that the Charleston Battery use. They play a 3-4-3. How does that affect tonight's match, Brad?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think you rely on Mueller as the center back to be able to communicate and make sure the switches and everything are in place. But with 3 up top, you can press higher up the field. And when you take a look at the struggles that the 11 have had in breaking the press, you're committing more numbers to pressing higher up the field. It's a good recipe right now.
You hit on that, and I thought did so perfectly as per usual, that the Red Bulls 2 on Sunday really went to school on what Bethlehem did 8 days ago. Good job by Ring slowing the progress of Kotaro Higashi for the Charleston Battery. Higashi, one of 12 Charleston players back from a season ago. You and I were talking about this off the air earlier. Just the way that franchise is built reminds me so much of what we said about Louisville City FC earlier this month. And maybe not a lot of names you know from other places, but guys that fit their system, very much a system team. And Louisville City atop the Eastern Conference, Charleston coming in third.
And you know, when you look at it, it's they're all talented players in this league. But you mentioned it. There's not, there's no big name superstars. And part of it is philosophically buying in, guys on the same page. And that goes from the front office to the coaching staff to the players. And when you have a coach that either as a player, assistant coach, or head coach has been within his organization for 24 years, he's got some equity built up to be able to make some changes. You take a look at the 3-4-3. They implemented this after they lost to New York 5-2. They said, look, we got the pieces for it. Let's do it. And they have not lost a match since.
You and I, over the last couple of years, we've seen more teams kind of go to 3 at the back, but often it is a 3-5-2. And really it can become almost a 5-3-2 at times. This is something unique, and this is really overloading the midfield. Opportunity here. Sunni Saad slides behind, but does not put the shot anywhere near on target. To put a scare into Joe Kuzminski, starting goalkeeper for Charleston.
And that's one of the things that develops. When you play with 3 in the back, you are giving up more spaces and more pockets for your opponent to find seams in. So what you do is you take the 4 in the midfield, you take the 3 up top, and you have to prevent them from being able to deliver that ball. It's a gamble, but if you got the players and philosophically they buy in, it's fantastic.
Good look at Sunni Saad, the Dearborn, Michigan native. He leads the Indy 11 in scoring with 3. He had the lone tally in the 4-1 loss on Sunday. It was his first goal since scoring a brace against Nashville SC in a victory here on April the 14th. Both these teams are off this weekend. Look at Mike Anhauser, and this is a homecoming for Mike. He is a native of Fort Wayne and played at Indiana University for legendary head coach Jerry Yeagley. Won a national championship, did Mike, back in 1988. One of the multitude of stars you see on an Indiana University soccer uniform.
And I think he said he's got 12 or 18 people coming here. And I asked him, I said, hey, what is the biggest, best memory outside of the obvious one that you have from Indiana? And he said, oh, the national championship. I said, Mike, outside of the obvious one. And he said it's the relationships. He said, I stayed in state. A lot of the guys I played with are still here, the Yeagleys. He said, I love the state. My family's coming down today. He said, I grew up in Fort Wayne, and we started talking about the old Fort Wayne Flames, the indoor. He used to train with them as a kid. So, his roots as a Hoosier go very, very deep.
But yet he has spent 25 years now with this franchise. Played for the club for 6 years, then transitioned to being an assistant coach. Now is the head coach and GM. But think about at this level of soccer, to be a head coach, really any level of soccer, so forget the level. 14 years with one franchise as the head coach. That doesn't happen anymore.
Right, and 3 championships, and a Coach of the Year honor.
Van Schaik, play it back to the middle to Brian Anunga.
And I tell you, Anunga's going to be the key. In a 3-4-3, your holding midfielder has to have a great soccer IQ. He's got to know when to get forward. He's got to know when to hold. He's got to be that 4th defender when they need it.
Looking back post for Schaik. Ouimet had him covered. Also nowhere close to the back post was Van Schaik. Van Schaik, Anunga, as well as Skylar Thomas. Saw 2 of those 3 on your screen. They have played every minute of every game this season for the Charleston Battery, at least in USL play. They have 5 players that have now started all 12 league matches this season. Look at their roster, only 21 players, but they have stayed healthy. The same lineup has been largely successful, and frankly, you're not going to change your lineup when you're Charleston when you have not lost a match since March 31st. Trying to work a give and go was Saad with Guerra. Higashi tracks it down now for the Charleston Battery. For Charleston, they play on a natural grass surface. They have their own soccer-specific stadium in Charleston. They have been on a homestand as of late. They have played their last 7 in a row, including U.S. Open Cup play, at their own facility. This is the first time they've been on turf in a while.
I was looking at that because Guerra has yet to score on the road. So, you know, when you first see that statistic that he's got 6 goals at home and none on the road, you're thinking, okay, you know, maybe he struggles with the travel. But the fact that they haven't really traveled yet, you know, kind of equates that point. So it's going to be interesting to see him. And Coach Anhauser was just so interested to see how he's going to respond to the turf, because pretty much the last month has been on grass.
The Sports the Mash presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit ecommunity.com/sports. There you see Ioze, and he missed the first 2 matches of the season for the Indy 11. He has played every minute of every match since that time.
And been dangerous. His ability to drive a ball that changes the point of attack is incredible.
The only guy that has really played more minutes than Ioze at this point, the man that's about to reset the play at some juncture. There we go, Owain Fawn Williams, on loan from his Scottish team, Inverness Caledonian Thistle. McInerney was offside and knew he was in an offside position.
So what did you say? Charleston's got 5 guys that have started every match?
And 3 that have played every minute.
Okay, you're a stat guy. What do we have?
1, the goalkeeper. Team captain, Taylor Mueller, resets things for the Charleston Battery. Speaking of that stat of playing every minute of every match, Mueller did that last year for the Battery. Think about that, a field position player, an outfield player, played every minute of every match for that franchise. It's ridiculous.
So that's March through September, October.
They made the first round of the playoffs, so through October.
Okay, so let's equate that into office terms. How many sick days did you have in that same amount of?
I'm an Iron Man. So
you're on
0.
the air every day, yeah.
Now vacation's a different story, but sick days, none. I am the picture of health,
yes,
as you would know.
Yes. Although your voice did sound a little bit scratchy after the 500.
Breaking down a 500-mile race will do that to you, Brad.
Oh, I like
Opportunity
that.
here for Lewis. Lewis. The speed has been on display. Technical skills, not so much. That was good service. Right idea by Saad. Couldn't keep it on frame, but the best build-up so far for the Indy 11.
And it comes with a great switch. What I'd like to see different from the 11, and this goes back to the Bethlehem game, is they get that ball out wide, and they do have the 1v1. They've got an outside back isolated, and instead of trying to take him off the dribble and get that second defender to have to shift over, it takes touch, 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 and then a serve.
Kuzminski on the restart. Well, last off the head of Carl Ouimet. Nope, it's not. Carl had it right. There's Carlisle Mitchell. Both teams with 2 natives of Trinidad and Tobago in their starting 11. Mitchell and Lewis for the Indy 11. Neville Hackshaw and Atula Guerra, leading goal scorer. Hackshaw might lead the league in hair at this point. That is quite the coif that he has going in his left back position. It will not be hard to spot him when the ball is advanced forward by the Indy 11. There you go. As a man that is follically challenged, I have so much respect for the hair that that man is able to take the field every day.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Russin able to win that, and Iose craftily keeps that in play.
A good recovery by the battery. You look at the opportunities when they get that ball into the attack. You know, Russin was able to win it. Iose has a bicycle kick that moves it forward, and immediately the 11 had bypassed the first 7 players of the battery and had an opportunity. It just was a tough ball to bring down.
Good read by Ring. Better positioning by Guerra. And Hackshaw could not track it down. Just a reminder, fans, you can catch Soccer Saturday every Saturday morning on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. We'll hear from Indy 11 head coach Martin Running. Any goal scorers the Indy 11 might have in tonight's game. And my broadcasting counterpart, Brad Hodder.
What? As
a former international professional goalkeeper, meaning he played overseas for a while. We're going to talk about a little goalkeeping 101 from last Saturday's, and you can hear the groan from the goalkeepers union to my right. The Champions League, with the pair of mistakes, ended up costing Liverpool their Champions League final against Real Madrid last week.
Great ball.
But Guerra was offside.
It pains me. I mean, I think if you've played it at any level, you've had those moments, but on that big of a stage, those critical mistakes. Oh.
Good look at Brad Russin. Russin then into a crown point. And before we restart, the conversation is ongoing with our match referee, and Tula Guerra. Good ball to find Lewis. His countryman in Hackshaw closes him down nicely. This is a Charleston Battery team that their goals have been pretty much at the end of the first half and start of the second half, and that was the case on Saturday night, scoring early in the second half and then hanging on to maintain the 1 point in their draw with Nashville. Goals in total, 11 of their 16 have come in the second half. So their scoring has largely been done. Late first half, early second.
Yeah, you know, you talk about it, the first 20 minutes, they don't have a goal through the run of play. So, you know, you don't know, is this a team that after they kind of get a feel and a flavor of the game, start to settle in and find their rhythm a little bit more? Are they a little bit more cautious through the first 20 and then open it up a little bit? Be interesting to see. We got that answer coming up in a couple minutes.
The 11 team that had not given up a road goal all season. So they led in 4 in the second half. Their loss against the New York Red Bulls 2 on Sunday. Steinberger dispossessed. Opportunity here. Guerra, the give and go.
Good read.
Good positioning by Ouimet. And Russin sweeps over to end the scoring threat. Gordon Wild, player that was the target. He's one of 2 players that was not in the starting 11 for Charleston on Saturday night that gets the nod this evening. And Wild is on loan from Atlanta United of Major League Soccer, whom the Battery will be playing in the U.S. Open Cup next Wednesday night. Which means that Wild, I don't think, can play in that match. Mitchell goes down. And now Guerra not happy with the play. A yellow card has been shown to the Charleston Battery. Iose and Guerra having a much more friendly conversation with one of the players of the Charleston Battery. But again, a yellow card was shown. I believe it was shown to Candela. Let's take a look here. Nope, Van Schaik. And for the high boot that clipped the foot of Mitchell.
That's so dangerous too. When you're coming down with the sole of your cleat as a player's coming up, you've got the hard sole, he's got no protection on top of his foot.
2 of the 4 goals that the Indy 11 allowed on Sunday. One was on a really bad back pass from Kevin Venegas, trying to get it back to a wide Fawn Williams. And frankly, a giveaway helped lead to the penalty that was then earned by the Red Bulls just a few minutes later.
What a ball.
It's a little more precise, a little more cautious, you would assume, out of the back tonight for the Indy 11. And that'll be a foul whistled against Suni Sai. Or against Guerra, excuse me. Guerra, the native of Venezuela, but who played his college soccer at Florida International University. We saw Juan last year have maybe his best professional season with the New York Cosmos. Before that, spent a couple of years with the once again league rival Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Heck of a player, so creative.
By the way, this segment of the match presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. Side. To Ioze. Now Guerra with some space to operate. Pass to McInerney. Anunga knocks him off the ball. Ioze will keep the attack going. Ioze has a pair of goals, both on conversions from the spot. Now Lewis. Thomas able to get in his way. We saw Ouimet play right back the first couple of weeks of the season. He has had to play center back since that time. Which position do you think is more natural for Ouimet?
And with his size and build and his IQ, I think the center back is the better spot for him. But, you know, you look at the challenges that he has to face as a center back. He's been against creative, pacey players. He's been against big target, you know, blue-collar players. So he can handle both, and he's got the pace to play on the outside. So when you go through some injuries, you go through some rough patches when your lineup isn't what you want it to be, he's a guy that can play both positions.
The ball that you see being passed around tonight is a Select soccer ball, the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50. So really one center back in this 3-4-3 alignment. What sort of responsibility does that place on a guy like Mueller for Charleston?
You know, if you play it correctly, you have a headache at the end of the game because you are constantly communicating the switches you see. You've got more space to protect, so you're pulling your outside mids on strings to get them to cover those wide spaces so you can keep your other 2 backs plugged in.
Candela commits the foul. Candela's a unique story. Born in Bogota, Colombia, then spent most of his childhood in the States, but he has played in numerous foreign countries before coming here to play for the Battery. Ioze, and this is in servable distance for the left foot. Not the head that Indy 11 wanted to get to it. And Kuzminski with a relatively easy play.
Whoa.
And with an Andrew Luck-like pass, sends this to midfield. Usually T.Y. Hilton is on the receiving end of those balls in this stadium.
Yeah, that reminded me of Peter Schmeichel, who would come out of the box for Man U in Denmark, and he'd just throw a rope across midfield.
Dimensions, by the way, 110 yards by 70 yards with our alignment at Lucas Oil Stadium tonight. Opportunity here. A little bit too strong on the pass, but clearly the right targeting. Guerra appreciative of the effort on the ball from Candela.
Clever thought. And that's, trusting your teammate's pace and trusting his vision that he's going to see that same space, and if you can put it in there, that he's got the ability to go run down and get it.
Part of that extra kind of zip on that pass, though, could easily be again the adjustment, going from playing on grass to playing on turf. It's about a 50-50 breakdown in the league in terms of grass facilities versus turf facilities. Just to rattle off some teams the Indy 11 have played as of late. Bethlehem plays on grass. The Red Bulls play on grass. Louisville City, grass. But FC Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, turf. So literally it is a 50-50 split. Give away by Lewis. And Ring gives the foul. I think he'll be carded for it, but that was to prevent the, he will be. So a card shown to Brad Ring, and not for the ferocity of the foul, but for the opportunity it prevented. There have been far harder fouls, but you see the space in front of Guerra. That's the reason why the card was shown. So both teams now have been displayed 1 yellow. At minute number 26. First of 2 meetings between these two clubs. The next one will also be a midweek match. Wednesday, July 11th in Charleston, South Carolina. Ball sent in. Russin and Ouimet both get there simultaneously.
That's like 12 or 13 feet of defenders when those two guys are around the ball.
Guerra found a soft spot, but couldn't control it nor steer it towards Owain Fawn Williams. But pinpoint passing not limited to the goalkeeper.
Now, to tell you what I love, Thomas came up out of the back. You got a 3-back system, and you're not afraid to send your backs forward. That creates some really tough overlaps and matchups. Good build.
Mention the fact that both these teams are off this weekend. This is one of 4 matches taking place in the league tonight. For the Battery, they play Atlanta United next Wednesday in the U.S. Open Cup. Of course, the Indy 11 eliminated from Cup consideration 2 weeks ago against Mississippi Brilla. Steinberger lobbying for a corner, but not to be, as the goal kick coming for Kuzminski. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Kuzminski played his college soccer at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Opportunity here. Guerra looking with the left foot. Some traffic in front of him. Van Schaik couldn't clear Russin, but not out of danger, and the turf bounce helps Owain Fawn Williams. We saw that turf bounce help in the Indy 11's last home goal by Zach Steinberger 11 days ago. The bounce unkind for Wild in the Battery.
Yeah, that's a tough ball for a goalkeeper to judge.
Wild couldn't pick that one cleanly. If Wild has a chance to play for the big club with Atlanta United in the near future, playing in here will be good training. Playing on the turf at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with the rabid fan base that Atlanta has shown in their 1.5 years in Major League Soccer. Foul whistled against the Indy 11. Speaking of great fan bases in Major League Soccer, let's offer a tip of the cap to the folks at FC Cincinnati. Yesterday it was announced they will be joining Major League Soccer next year. What that club has done in 3 short years is tremendous. Averaging nearly 25,000 fans a game. Martin Rennie not happy. Directing his anger at the 4th official right now. Barring a playoff meeting between Indy 11 and FC Cincinnati, they'll play one more time. That would be in October. Opportunity here. McInerney. Taken away by Van Schaik. Well read by Ouimet. Lewis. Maintain possession quickly. Possession certainly in favor of the Battery at this point. Neither team has had a great look on goal just yet. And for Charleston, again, having watched them Saturday night, this is very reminiscent of their match against Nashville. It was a limited scoring opportunity match. The only goal for Nashville SC came off a set piece, and that was on a foul in front of the 18 that frankly, I'm not sure it was actually a foul.
No, it was a good hit.
Hackshaw. That will be a foul whistle against Lewis. Making contact against the goalkeeper.
It was a good hit, but if it's the one I'm thinking of, the wall just jumped out of the way.
True. Take a look here at this play. And again, let's see where Lewis made contact. Made a little contact with Hackshaw, a little more contact with the goalkeeper.
That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be the keeper. And
I don't think there was much to that.
Protect the guy in the red jersey.
Yeah, that to a bit of a nothing call. Ring will play it back to Fawn Williams. Owain Fawn Williams with 5 clean sheets. No goalkeeper feels great about a 4 goals against night as he had on Sunday, but I'm not sure if any of those are really against him, to be perfectly honest with you.
To be honest, too, I think that he had the handball in the box. I think he was diving in the right direction, read the shot well, and you know, if you don't dive in front of it, I think he gets it.
Handball whistle against Brad Russet. Guerra draws the foul. The Sports of the Match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Reference the fact that Candela has a tremendous amount of overseas experience. He has played in Portugal, Germany, Belgium, and Colombia. This is his first season in the USL.
It's five countries.
Your ability to count during a broadcast is remarkable.
Next level stuff, Rick. Next level stuff.
Hackshaw gets in the passing lane. Good read by Ouimet. There's Steinberger, scored his first Indy 11 goal in nearly 3 years, 11 days ago. By the way, every time that Zach Steinberger scores a goal this year, 100 pounds of fresh produce is delivered to Second Helpings partners by the folks at Green Bean Delivery.
That is awesome.
Great job by folks at Green Bean, Second Helpings, the Indy 11, and Zach. Zach, of course, played at Butler University. Spent the last 2 years with the Jacksonville Armada. First round draft pick of the Houston Dynamo in 2015. Where are the target, but cannot get there in time. Goal kick coming for Owain Fawn Williams. Folks, get a player's perspective of all the action around the USL every Wednesday as Tampa Bay Rowdies forward Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down exclusively on the USL YouTube channel and sometimes part of our halftime show.
Is that today? Do we have one today?
I believe it is a Goals of the Week feature. Your quality time with JB will have to wait at least until next Saturday night, unless you go to the USL's YouTube channel.
Good ball.
Wild ruled to be offside. He's one of 2 players on loan from Atlanta United. The other being Patrick Okonkwo, who is all of 19 years of age. Opportunity here. Saad. Hackshaw, shoulder to shoulder. It says play on. And Martin Rennie not the least bit happy about it. Long distance ball that Fawn Williams reads properly.
Battery are asking a lot of Van Schaik and Woodbine. They're both getting forward very, very well, but they've also got to cover the outsides, not just in the midfield, but in the back line when the 3 backs are central. And that's an area that the 11 can exploit if they can keep these guys running and get them to wear down late in the match.
Work by the team captain and Brad Ring to draw that foul. He was honored at the last home game for becoming the 2nd member of the club's 100 caps list. He's now the all-time leader in Indy 11 appearances, passing his longtime teammate and Don Smart earlier in the month of May. Lewis drawing 3 defenders, but earns the throw-in. And Steinberger It's knocked over by Anunga. And let's reference the only goal that Charleston allowed on Saturday was off a set piece. Opportunity here for Indy. Not exactly in kind of the shooting range, if you will, from a straight-on variety of Suni Sa. He'll be the player that will deliver this one inside of the 18.
And he's so dangerous.
I assume he can't go for goal here. Can he from this angle?
He can. I wouldn't recommend it, but he can.
Saad looking back post. Russ in the target. Brad will not be able to track it down.
That frustrates you as a coach on a couple levels. One, that the ball was overcooked a bit, and then two, that your width on the backside, your guy that's supposed to prevent that ball from going out, wasn't able to reach it.
The Sports of the Match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world. Charleston team in last. They have lost 2 of their first 3 matches this season. They have not lost a match since March. On a streak of 4 consecutive wins earlier this year. They finished 2nd in the East last year. They're currently 3rd. There's 3 points out of first place. Guerra, Mitchell with him. Guerra goes to turf. There's nothing there. And a goal kick coming. And Guerra and Mitchell, you've got to assume, know each other quite well. It's not exactly Big Island, Trinidad and Tobago.
No, when you start talking about the elite players on the island, there's a handful of them.
Fans, you can take your business to the next level in a state that works. This message sponsored by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. The 11 off till next Saturday after this one. That match will be here too. That is against Atlanta United 2. The 3rd of 4 support teams, if you will, that the Indy 11 will play this year. The other one being Toronto FC 2 later in the season. In fact, their first matchup with TFC 2 will be the following Saturday. And a match that was actually played in Rochester, New York. For many years, kind of the flag bearers for 2nd division and lower soccer in this country. The Rochester Rhinos and the Charleston Battery. The Rhinos not playing this season, unfortunately. There's an Indy 11 tie to Rochester because former Indy 11 goalkeeper Christian Neat played for the Rhinos before playing in Indianapolis for 2 years.
That was the model franchise before the MLS, and even through the first couple years of the MLS. And they consistently draw 11, 12, 13,000 people.
Toronto FC2 going to play some matches in Rochester this year just to try to keep the flame going for this level of soccer in Western New York. Kuzminski content to hang on to the ball for just a moment or two. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Candela. And that's a foul on Ouimet. And that is a dangerous place to give a foul for the Indy 11.
Again, Candela and Anuga have been really effective in letting the 11 get the first touch in the midfield and then just coming in, pulling it off the foot.
Fon Williams sizing up what the angle's going to look like here. Candela, not one of the taller players on their roster, far from it in fact, but several targets to choose from. Guerra, Thomas, Hackshaw amongst that group, and Van Schaik would be of that ability as well. 3-man wall being shown by Indy. Candela. Fon Williams got a hand to it. And we will see our first corner of the match. And Williams with his most activity of the match so far and rises to the occasion.
And probably not one that would have made it on frame, but so close that you can't let that happen.
The same names prevalent here for the Battery in terms of targets towards the 6. Hackshaw breaking towards the box. Vaughn Williams comes out to get it. Not sure ever made contact, but the end result works just the same as Ouimet sends this one towards the multitude of Colts banners that hang from the facility. Kuzminski again content just to park it for a little bit, with McInerney making his obligatory move towards the ball. Ten consecutive matches with the point for the Battery. Reference the fact they had played 7 matches in a row at home, 2 of those in the U.S. Open Cup. Of those 5 home league matches, Charleston got a possible 11 points out of 15. Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Hackshaw. That'll be a foul and whistled onside. Not having a very civil discussion with our referee, but an elongated one at that. Russin. I don't know how you wanted to direct that, but Iose there to pounce on it quickly. Good run for Iose. Space for McInerney. McInerney sizing up his options. Switches the sides of the attack to Ouimet. Now Anunga applies pressure.
Yeah, just a good opportunity that just took too long to develop. You know, the Battery is incredibly disciplined in their recovery. They get 9 guys back behind the ball, and when Iose picked that ball, they had the chance. They had numbers. Slowed it down. Charleston gets 9 back.
And a yellow is shown, with Guerra going to the turf. That will be on to Brian Anunga. The second yellow of the match given to the Battery. Each side now with a pair of yellow cards shown. Now this is maybe more in line with a Sunni Saad wonder strike. He had one from a little further to his left a month and a half ago. He has missed on a couple like him, but not missed by much.
There's no chance a team that is playing the 11 have not seen the video of the couple of balls that he's hit from here.
I'm not sure what you can do to prevent it, though.
They maybe make that wall a little bit bigger, have him, don't have them separate.
There's the leave by Ring, the bomb by Saad. We tried to warn you. Sunni Saad, his 4th goal this season. He likes those long-distance relationships. It's 1-0 for the Indy 11.
Unbelievable. The movement on that ball.
And give Brad Ring the assist. Nothing Kuzminski can do.
Look at this thing move. The same thing happened to Charleston over the weekend. The wall moved out of the way.
The ball against Nashville was a low skidder on the turf. This one defied the laws of physics as it curved around a member of the wall in upper 90.
I don't know the laws of physics, so I can't argue that point.
So the Indy 11 with a momentum changer going into halftime. Not to be Debbie Downer, this is where I tell you the Indy 11 had a 1-0 lead going into halftime on Sunday. That did not fare well. Do you like this better than the other alternative?
What a ball.
Advantage being played here. And Shake, the target of the pass, quickly swept away. I would think a minimal amount of stoppage time would be coming up here at the end of the half. Good read by Ring. We are being told an additional minute will be played to end the half. Garrett takes the safe way to Owain Williams. Saad trying to draw the foul. O'Brien Woodbine with the contact to Saad. This has been a month where the Indy 11, simply put, we flashed the standings in the Eastern Conference during the pregame show on the screen. It might as well have been the Indy 11 schedule. They played so many of the top teams in the East. You could find a way to get this one. We'll have wins against two of the best three teams in your side of the league. Still not a great month, but a result you can build on for this club.
Yeah, all the rest of that's behind you. Right now, you've got to try and grab that 3 points, get some positivity back into the training sessions, and roll into June with a different mindset.
So we had a minute to be added on, then we had the injury to Saad, so I'd imagine a few extra seconds will be played here before halftime. Mitchell able to win the aerial duel. Closing moment of this half presented by Braden, Indy 11's preferred technology and office equipment provider. Go to BradenOnline.com. Braden technology that drives your business. And that is the end of half number one. A very evenly played half that has tilted in favor of the Indy 11 because of the tilt and movement that Suni Saad can put on a soccer ball. His 4th goal of the season gives the Indy 11 a needed 1-goal advantage going to halftime.
To allow yourself a chance to get Guerra a ball with some space.
Time now for our Turkish Airlines coaches interview. Turkish Airlines, the official international airline of Indy 11 soccer. Turkish Airlines, widen your world. Coach Rennie joining us now. Martin, thanks for the time. We'll get to Martin here in a matter of moments. Now we got him. All right, Coach, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes?
Yeah, close game. Not too many chances, and probably one of the best goals you'll ever see from a free kick.
Your thoughts about this? Is the second time we've seen a goal like that from Suni. What's it like to have that weapon in the arsenal, knowing you can call that up when you need to?
Well, it's huge because it's not close to the goal, and yet it's a good chance for us. So it's big. It's something that we need to keep taking advantage of. And that one's probably even better than the one we saw before.
What changes, if any, do you want to see your team go forth with in half number two?
Well, we have to keep our concentration and make sure we keep doing the things that we're doing defensively. But I think there's a few more opportunities for us going forward. They'll probably have to come a little bit more, so there'll be some space, and we need to exploit that.
Coach, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you after the match.
Okay, thanks.
Martin Rennie, head coach of the Indy 11. And again, as always, our coaches interview presented by Turkish Airlines, the official international airline of the Indy 11. This Indy 11 team playing without some key pieces. Tyler Pasher, Heiner Ferreira. Nico Mattern out because of a red card. 3rd red card, by the way, the Indy 11 have picked up on the season. Carl Ouimet had one of those earlier in the year. You see Justin Braun, Ben Spies, Kevin Venegas, Seth Moses, Amasaman Kona. The field players available for substitution tonight. Matt Watson also. He's in those not pictured as part of that group, heading back towards the bench right now.
You know, with the 9 days off, though, and the fact that Watson's got himself back into the 18, that's a really good sign.
Second half underway here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Indy 11 looking for their 3rd home victory in 6 matches in the building. They are 2-0-3. 2 losses to FC Cincinnati. They lost to the Bethlehem Steel last time out. As my partner mentioned, this was a similar An eerily similar scenario for Charleston, their match on Saturday. A set-piece goal had them down 1-0 at halftime. They would score early in the second half. Atula Guerra's 6th goal of the season would provide a 1-1 score, and that's the way it would finish in Charleston on Saturday night. The 11 have given up 6 second-half goals in their last 2 matches. If you extend that to the U.S. Open Cup, that is 7 in 3 matches. Anything you draw from that number, Brad?
No, I think it's impactful, and if they exploit it, great. But you know, I take a look right now what the Battery had here, and one of the things they did in the second half against Nashville was attack the outside back, get to the line, and slot that ball over for Guerra, and it looked like they're coming out of the break looking at that exact same opportunity.
Throw in coming here for Indy. No substitutions, by the way, for either side at halftime. The ball for Lewis. But Mueller quickly knocked that ball away. Bring in Steinberger. Trying to work on a combination play outside of the 18. And Mitchell. Then quickly back to safety to Owain Von Williams. Williams looking for his 6th clean sheet of the season. Last had one against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds May the 11th. And that will be a foul, I believe. I'm going to call it on. Yep, this was pointed the wrong direction. Anunga draws the whistle. He pointed originally as it was going to be onside.
I'm surprised that nobody reacted to it.
And soon he saw it. Can he do it one more time?
This is 4 yards closer.
This is the part where I tell you the field's 10 yards back in the other direction, Brad. So it's actually 39 yards out. But awesome. I like where your head's at from a confidence standpoint. Ring looking for his 2nd assist of the night. Saad again. Anunga this time closes it out.
Well, I'll tell you, you know they talked about it at halftime, because a 2-man wall that didn't break, stood their ground, and then you have Anunga that comes out and rushes the ball and sees if he can just close down any windows that are open.
And Martin Rennie thinking that Anunga was not 10 yards back when that ball was first touched. And that's the reason for the extended conversation here. He's basically saying he wasn't back as part of the wall 10 yards away.
And when you have this conversation, you're not looking to change this. It's impossible to change that. What you're looking to do is change the next one. Make sure that they do have that 10-yard.
And I legitimately thought that Anunga did not move until Ring touched it, but that he wasn't part of the wall. He was closer than 10 yards away. Lewis couldn't get the touch he wanted to on it. Iose plays it back to Russin. Chested down by McInerney. Sooney Saad trying to weave his way through traffic. Fans, you get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL by simply following the league's Instagram account. You can find at USL Soccer. Combination work here by the Indy 11.
That's clever possession to get out of that press.
Guerra. Good help by Steinberger.
And you got to find Ouimet on the outside.
Possession 52-48 in favor of the Charleston Battery in the first half. The 11 began the season with a string of 1-0 victories. Haven't had one since Louisville City FC back on May 5th. Then again, they haven't had a victory since Louisville City FC back on May 5th. Here's Ouimet. Last year played for the, as of now, final champions of the North American Soccer League, the San Francisco Deltas. Saw him playing for Jacksonville the years before that. Spent time with the New York Red Bulls and Montreal Impact. One of the many great additions the Indy 11 have had this offseason. The Indy 11 brought back just 3 players from last year's roster. Good read by Russin, just to get that ball out of danger.
Yeah, a little bit careless. I mean, the interplay is great, the tight spaces are great, but as the space starts to shrink and you've got outlets on the other side, get the ball out of the press.
The Sports of the Match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit ecommunity.com/sports. Lewis trying to track that ball down. There is no doubt about his speed. The only guy that I have seen as fast as Lewis this season has been Pasher when he's been healthy for the Indy 11. We have now not seen Pasher in the last 5 games for Indy. Mitchell will buy some real estate, sending that ball across the sideline. Good read by Guerra. Another good read by Ring. That is a nice pairing in midfield, Ring and Guerra, 2 veteran players. Good looking run by Juan. They're one of the 3 former New York Cosmos on the Indy 11 roster this year. He, Ioze, and Eugene Starikov. By the way, just because of injuries, the 3 of them have not played together in a match this year. Anunga takes it away from McInerney. Opportunity here. Guerra. Ioze provides some pressure. Guerra not happy with that effort.
And you can see that the battery knows how hot Guerra is right now. As soon as Anunga got the ball, he looks up and he is trying to find his space.
This portion of the match presented by Denny Excavating. Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Sounds of the Brickyard Battalion providing the soundtrack for tonight's match as per usual. A little smaller than normal, being a midweek match. That never affects their decibel level.
Oh.
Good ball here. Lewis with options. Looking for the cross. Back post. Doesn't get to Steinberger. Thomas clears it. Ioze will keep the attack going. Sunisai. Arm was tucked back by Candela. Ricocheted off his chest. Now they'll look to spring Guerra and Russin. That's a foul on Guerra. Guerra not going to be happy with it, but frankly that call's gone the other way numerous times tonight. And Russin still on the turf. One more look. Ryan Gerlach, the trainer for the Indy 11, races over to check on Russin.
Yeah, looked like he caught his toe or his foot on his second step after contact.
And Russin, who dealt with a knee injury last year in Miami, and because he is off the field of play, the official is basically saying play on, play down a man.
What a ball by McInerney.
Saad the target. Steinberger. Saad will give chase. Thomas will simply shield Saad away. And it's ruled that he touched it last. That's a corner. Great pressure by Saad.
You never know which moment counts. You got to chase down even those half chances sometimes. This could be the day. You get another one right now, and that puts the battery in a really, really difficult spot to pull a point from this match.
First corner of the match for the Indy 11. By the way, this segment of the match presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. Educated left foot of Iose. Russin back out there as a target. Hackshaw got there first. Steinberger the volley to settle, but a goal kick coming for the Charleston battery. Crown Point, Indiana native, heading back to the other end. Second year in a row. The Indy 11 have had a player from that town in northwestern Indiana. Christian Lomelli, former IUPUI and Indiana University goalkeeper, was the third goalkeeper for the team a year ago from Crown Point. There's the BYB. Liking what they're seeing so far. Charleston trying to change that. Mueller sends it in.
Oh my
Ball
goodness.
kept in.
What
opportunity here on the cross and ring. To clear it and give the corner, and that is a very similar ball to how Charleston scored on Saturday night.
Right. And I think they hit the post a couple times and just slotted it wide on very similar opportunities.
Quick restart here. You see the ball by Woodbine, but Charleston's already got it back in play. This is Wild.
Oh, good hit.
Ouimet got there, read it well. Van Schaik was the target. And knocked away by both McInerney and Ring. Seeing some quality defensive work in the box right now by the Indy 11.
I'll tell you, if Ouimet doesn't get a piece of that ball, that's trouble.
Yep. Thomas a target. Russin got there first. And Mitchell to a modicum of safety. The best extended possession so far for the battery, and a foul given on side. Woodbine asking for a card. He won't get that. But they will get a set piece opportunity in a similar spot to where Saad scored from about 15 minutes ago. Wild to take the free kick. Williams snares it. Linefon Williams, the first native of Wales to play for the Indy 11. Spent his entire career largely in Scotland and in League One in the Football League. It is a foul called against Charleston. Wild ruled to have undercut Iose. McInerney trying the diagonal ball to Lewis, who sneaks behind Hackshaw. Couldn't settle with the first touch. Going to maintain possession though with the second. Ouimet sends it in. Kuzminski had it tracked the entire way.
And that's the ball that's going to be effective for the 11. It's knocking it into the corners.
Managing to keep up to date with all the best social media from around the league is Kelsey Steele, host Off the Post every Friday with the league's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds. Miscue here by Charleston. McInerney tried to catch Kuzminski off his line. That was a bit optimistic. Just a touch from McInerney. All behind Saad from Lewis. A good job by Saad to win it right back. Saad did the splendid, the sublime in terms of his skill in the first half. He's done the little things well here in half number 2. It's settled by Guerra. There's Lewis with some options. But didn't have the touch on the pass that he needed.
No, and I liked Ouimet coming up and looking at an overlap.
Ouimet hustles back by the defensive presence that will lead to a throw-in for the Indy 11. So 50 minutes into half number 2. It's Sports of the Match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. That's not easy.
Oh.
Guerra, can he line it up? Juan Guerra!
Great hit.
For his first Indy 11 goal. And again, it was the pressure by Saad, both on the center back and the keeper, that allowed that opportunity for his teammate.
And you've got that connection with McInerney and Saad right now, where McInerney goes up and wins a ball that he may not have a right to, and Saad is reading it and making the run in, understanding where that ball's going to be.
Juan did not miss that by much. There have not been a lot of goal scorers this year for the Indy 11. Giveaway here. Opportunity. Wild from outside of the 18. Ball took a deflection. Woodbine puts it home. And we're all tied up at 1. The deflection threw off Owain Fawn Williams. O'Brien Woodbine with the goal. His first of the season. We're all tied up at 1 in minute number 62. And it's safe to say that comes from against the run of play. Wild shot deflects. Woodbine was making the back post run. Williams could not close it out in time.
It's a giveaway in your defensive third that allows a repossession in the dangerous part of the field. You just can't have it.
For Woodbine, that is his first goal of the season. I've got it as this is his first match of the season.
I didn't see a stat on it.
Woodbine, his 6th season with the Charleston Battery. We see Justin Braun enter momentarily for the Indy 11. Woodbine from Jamaica. 12th all-time in appearances for the franchise with 111. A goal to level this match as the similarities continue for Charleston in their match on Saturday at home against Nashville SC. Justin Braun will enter shortly. As the Indy 11 were looking for another goal regardless. Now certainly in need of it. This match level at a goal apiece. Good read by Saad. Ball leaves for Guerra. Saad down on the turf. A pair of players down. Saad will hop back up. Play continues on. Woodbine, the player down for Charleston. The lead for Lewis. Lewis. And it will be a goal kick coming. As Woodbine now goes right back to the turf for the Battery. First things first, a substitution for the Indy 11. Well, it looks like we'll see a Charleston substitution first in Okonkwo, replacing Gordon Wild. So Braun will come in for Nathan Lewis for the Indy 11. As both teams decide now is the time to sub in a player wearing number 17. So Okonkwo in for Wild for the Battery. Braun in for Lewis for the Indy 11. And Nico Rittmeyer will also check in for Woodbine for Charleston. So it is the Costco of substitutions right now in this match. You do better when you buy in bulk. 2 coming in for the Charleston Battery. Braun set to enter for the Indy 11.
Well, when you play a 3-4-3, and when you play it the way that Charleston has, where they've really had Van Schaik and Woodbine getting forward as well as covering the back space on the outsides of their 3-back, you're asking a lot of those guys. So it's not surprising, you know, that one of their outside mids is not able to go the full 90.
On the goal kick by Kuzminski, it finds Braun. It's more of a baseball saying, but when you're a substitution, usually the ball finds you. It's exactly what happened to Braun on that play. Of note, Braun will play up top, and Saad will drop back to a midfield role. Ring, the lead for Saad. Well done. Suni Saad. Guerra looking for Saad. Great job by him. They're going to close that down before Ioze could settle. Now Russin. And that'll be a foul against Okonkwo, who just checked in. I mentioned this earlier. Okonkwo on loan for Atlanta United. Okonkwo just 19 years old. Nice touch by Guerra. The lead for McInerney. McInerney draws three defenders.
Touch.
Lays it to the right for Ouimet. Ouimet draws a corner.
It's great vision by McInerney. You know, the second touch kind of got caught underneath him a little bit, but what it did was it pulled three defenders in, opened up that wide play for Ouimet even more.
It is Ioze that will take the corner. And he was 6 in the box, make it 7. Looking near post, Kuzminski got his hands on it. Well done.
That was a lot of traffic for him to come out and find that.
Fans, you can download the official Indy 11 app now to be the first to receive breaking team news and highlights. Available on the app stores for Apple and Android devices. And that will be a foul. Mitchell, and that'll likely be a card. So Mitchell draws the yellow and acknowledges the mistake. Third yellow shown to the Indy 11 tonight. Anunga's speed on display, and now a set piece in a dangerous spot for the Charleston battery.
And that's a really tough one. By the time that you see that his touch is one that he's not going to be able to recollect, you've already committed yourself. It's too late to pull back on it.
So Mitchell, as well as Ring, have picked up yellow cards tonight. Ouimet as well. Several tall targets for Candela to pick from for the battery.
Dangerous, dangerous spot here.
High line being kept by the Indy 11. Ball sent in, up and over the bar. But touch last by an Indy 11 player. So a corner from the opposite side.
And they found a seam to drop it into.
Will be last touch by Mitchell. Left-footed swinger coming up here for Charleston. Knocked out of the 18. Saad couldn't settle with first or second touch. However, Anunga touched it last. A chance to breathe now for the Indy 11. Ioze told to move back about 5 yards before he restarts. Braun finds Guerra. Van Schaik with it for the battery. Tula Guerra. Nice ball for Candela. Candela. Von Williams got a hand to it. Ouimet there to soup away the rebound. The throw in for the Indy 11 on the deflection from Van Schaik. Gains the Indy 11 about 20 yards. They'll restart quickly. Guerra. Slide it through to either Saad or Braun. And Ioze will play that ball back to his teammate in Von Williams.
Hey, you had 5 or 6 minutes ago, you had Woodbine needing a sub, and Van Schaik is showing some fatigue as he's trying to recover. That's a spot that you can take advantage of right now. Ouimet is getting up and getting forward well on the right side. You've got to be able to find him and make Van Schaik defend him.
Rittmeyer working it towards the byline, sends it across. Okonkwo the target. Now Guerra.
Wow.
Trying to find Rittmeyer, and Rittmeyer couldn't get to it in time.
That's a great win by Mitchell.
Well, you talked about the fact that Van Schaik showing some signs of fatigue. Charleston already down to just one sub remaining with 20 minutes of action left to go. Let's take a look at the replay of the last scoring opportunity for the battery. Again, Charleston played 4 days ago. The Indy 11 played 3. Charleston did play in much warmer conditions in Charleston. Then the Indy 11 did it a rainy day in New Jersey on Sunday. But you'll be surprised if both teams are a bit gassed on this short week. As we are in minute number 71. Charleston with draws in their last 2 league matches. It's Ottawa Fury FC. It's Nashville on Saturday. For the Battery, this is their 3rd consecutive Wednesday match, having played in the Open Cup each of the last 2 midweeks. Guerra with the left foot did not steer it the way he had hoped to. Will not have gotten deflection. Goal kick coming.
Yeah, that's one they'd like back. Everything was wrong on that play. They had numbers up. They had guys flashing into the seams. He was off balance when he took the shot.
The Sports of the Match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world. Good win by Ouimet. But Mueller will steer it back 50 yards down the field. Mitchell. Candela steers away from Saad. Good job by Braun. Braun. Safe play back to Ioze. Ioze sizing up his options. Asking for a foul, doesn't get it. Thomas to Russin. Space to operate for Anunga. And Shake. Guerra. Hackshaw making the run, but didn't get the ball at his feet.
Clever buildup.
Now Hackshaw has to race back to the back line at the other end. Williams content to give him that time as you watch the replay of the last scoring threat for the Charleston Battery.
It's one of the toughest things for those backs is to recognize, you know, when is it that I'm going to spend that 60-yard sprint to get up to know that I got to come back. And he read that one well. That developed into a good opportunity for the Battery.
Guerra tried to slide it through. Good read by Ioze. And Ouimet played it off a Charleston player for an Indy 11 throw-in. Fans, for standing stats on the latest league news, be sure to visit uslsoccer.com. Frankly, both teams starting to show some signs of fatigue here. The Battery simply don't have as deep of a roster. The 11 not deep right now because of injuries. Anunga going to cross it up, and Mitchell will give the corner.
You got some tired legs out there on both sides.
And Candela will take the corner. Conquo and Fawn Williams know each other a little well in front of the net. Justin Braun providing a little separation between the two. Back post. Nagashi able to track it down. Rittmeyer's service, not great. Saad, good flick to Steinberger. Steinberger takes the contact, will play through it. Couldn't find McInerney. McInerney had a great run going. Steinberger didn't see it. Now Saad will switch up sides the attack.
Good ball.
This is Braun. McInerney heading towards the 6. Mueller sweeps it away. That to Braun. Braun towards the corner flag. Hackshaw will give the corner. This will be a great spot for the first goal of the year for that man right there. 15 goals the last 2 seasons for the Indy 11. Yet to score his first this year. Bit of a reduced opportunity as he continues to rehab from an ankle injury that cost him the latter half of last season.
And out of those 15, I think probably half of them were off of his head. I think, last year he scored 7 goals total and 4 or 5 were in the air. It's a perfect opportunity for him.
Got to be a target here. Ioze looking to serve it in. Out of the 18. Steinberger the lead for Guerra. Mitchell and Hackshaw battling out for it. We met. Took a boot to the ear. Now Braun trying to carve out some space as Candela goes up and over him. And Luger ruled to be onside. And no foul given there. Or a Conquo, excuse me. Braun, good lead for McInerney. Assad. Minute number 77.
That's the ball. Now you got a tired Van Schaik with no cover behind him.
Ring lost the handle. Tried to catch Fawn Williams off his line to the Conquo. For Conquo, this is his 7th appearance of the season. All but one have been as a substitution. The 19-year-old on loan from Atlanta United. A substitution about to be waved back towards the bench for the Indy 11. Their eyes peeled for that, but back to live action. McInerney just got barreled over by Hackshaw.
Wow.
Jack would be fighting up a weight class or two. He has shown no fear in doing so this year. Stoppage play to make sure that McInerney was all right.
I don't think there was a foul there. I think it was just the way that the two hit each other.
Yep. McInerney getting into it a bit now with a player, and McInerney going to be shown a yellow. And that yellow on McInerney means that when the Indy 11 return to action on June 9th, he'll have to sit. That is his 5th yellow of the year. He and Candela had a meeting of the minds. Let's take a look exactly where contact happened. And just where his hand was, it's kind of hard to argue that.
You just can't. You can't.
So just a yellow for McInerney. 4th different Indy 11 player with a yellow card tonight. For the yellow card, there will be a restart here. After the collision between McInerney and Hackshaw. Run by Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer plays it across and into the back of the net. Tula Guerra, his 7th goal of the season. And the Battery take a 2-1 lead.
Virtually identical to the goal that he scored against Nashville. A nice ball tucked in behind the back line. Brilliant serve across.
A carbon copy of his last goal against Nashville. And the Indy 11 in danger. Losing a 2nd consecutive home match, but also losing a 2nd consecutive 1-goal lead at halftime. Matt Watson will come on. He has been hampered with injuries as of late. He'll replace Zach Steinberger. Watson, the oldest member of the Indy 11. Second substitution of the 3 available to head coach Martin Running. In danger of losing their 4th home match of 6 so far. So plenty of time to at least get one back, if not potentially 2. This has been a battery team that has been difficult to score on this year. All sent in. Assad the target. Van Schaik got there first. Lamette trying to keep the attack going. No foul given. McInerney looking for Saad. That ball was last touched by Hackshaw. Throw in coming here for Indy. Higashi down behind the play.
They've tucked Van Schaik and Rittmeyer back a little bit with the back 3, putting 5 pretty much across that back line. Left 1 up top. Going to congest the space and just try and ride out this last 10 minutes.
5 road points so far this year for the Battery. They had not been on the road in the last month until tonight. Kuzminski made a play for the ball, but then the ball gets headed right back to him by Ring. Fans, you can have your say in the USL's Player of the Month award for May. Go to the online poll at uslsoccer.com. A chance to vote throughout the weekend. Guerra entered this match tied for 3rd in the league in goals with 6. Moves to a tie for 2nd with his 7th of the season. He's found that space perfectly on the run towards the end line by Rittmeyer.
That's such a quality finish too. 80 minutes on your legs, and you know you've been pressing for that 80. It's not been a soft 80. Your legs are fatigued. That ball comes across. I think Brad Ring was right there. So to be able to have that kind of a quality finish on tired legs, that's impressive.
Rittmeyer, it's his 1st assist of the season. And Mitchell has to give up the throw-in with Okonkwo applying pressure. Well, it has been a month of struggle for the Indy 11. Unless they can find at least a goal here in the final 7 minutes plus stoppage time, it will be capped off with another frustrating loss. Higashi, good move. Ring with him step for step. A nice hurdle by Ouimet. Tracked that ball down before it would have reverted back to Charleston. Schaik sends it across. Ioze there to close out the space. Ball finds Ouimet. Both teams have a substitution available if needed. McInerney finds Ouimet. Ouimet sends it in. Ron couldn't get there first. Watson.
There you go.
McInerney on the bounce.
Get it.
McInerney draws the penalty. Knocked to the ground by Thomas. McInerney draws the opportunity from the spot. Yellow shown to Thomas. A chance for a leveling goal for the Indy 11. We mentioned this earlier in the half. A chance for the little things for the Indy 11. Thomas with the elbow. McInerney draws the foul. It is Ioze, who is 2 for 2 from the spot this season to level this match in the 86th minute.
To the spot,
Ioze with penalties. The winner against Louisville City FC. and one against FC Cincinnati 3 days prior to that. Minsky trying to take up as much space as possible. Iose got it.
Great finish.
And we're tied at 2 in the 86th minute. Iose's 3rd goal this season. Still some life in those legs as he sprints it back to the 50-yard line, or the 45 to be exact. You get my point. We're all tied up at 2.
As much fatigue is on the field as the way this game is opened up and back and forth, there might be another one in this game.
First time that Charleston put up multiple goals since their last loss of the season on March 31st. Wrong. Martin Rennie calmly watching on the sidelines. There will be some added time here. Frankly, opportunities remain for both sides. Good give and go. Side. Watson. But that wants it back. Sends it in for Braun. But too much on it. Ring hustling back. And that ball eventually does cross the sideline for an 11 throw-in. This would be a point that might feel like 3 for the Indy 11 if this result holds up. By the way, our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time in the second half brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Foul called against the Indy 11. Thank our newest sponsor, our friends at Braden, Indy 11's preferred technology and office equipment provider. Go to BradenOnline.com. Braden, technology that drives your business. SUNY Saad now leads the Indy 11 with goals with 4. Iose is next with 3. And they have all been of the PK variety.
See the backside.
Rittmeyer was making that run.
And for the Battery, that's got to be an early serve. You got to put it in there and make him go get it.
Fresh legs of Watson. Offside flag is up. Where will have played began that play in an offside position. And the last time that Charleston played away from home was April the 24th. A 3-0 victory against Atlanta United 2. It's part of the reason they don't have many points away from home. They haven't played much away from home this year.
I tell you, I think Rittmeyer's been a difference maker in this game. The pace he's brought.
Braun couldn't settle it.
My goodness.
Hackshaw weaving his way through traffic. Okonkwo is onside, but Fawn Williams is quickly off his line. Braun couldn't play that ball. He was in an offside position. We have been informed there will be 4 minutes of added time at the end of the 90th minute, which is taking place as we speak. There are some causes for concern in the second half for the Indy 11, no doubt. And right now, a point out of this one. Still a chance for 2 more. Draws the Indy 11 have had so far have been of the 0-0 variety. Russin whistled for the foul. And a set-piece opportunity here for the Charleston Battery.
Yeah, I just don't think you need the foul here. I think you've got Mitchell tucking in behind you. You've got your cover. It's not an easy ball for the Battery to bring down.
You see the confirmation of 4 minutes of added time. Van Schaik. Five-man wall being shown by the Indy 11. Little space being provided by Ioze. He closes that up. Deflected, but didn't exactly change direction very much for Fawn Williams. Relatively easy play. Met off to the races. Slides it for Guerra. Onside.
Great ball.
As Braun making a run. Guerra sends it in. Van Schaik got there first. Watson with a head to it. Trying to make the turn. And that'll be a handball against the battery.
How about it?
Paging Suni Sa.
How about it?
If you could pick up the navy blue courtesy phone, that would be tremendous.
Now let's see if the battery throws the same look at the 11 on this restart. This one's closer in. The wall's got to be bigger. You can't have a two-man wall here. It's got to be bigger. But do they have Anuga or somebody that is tasked with charging the ball and seeing if you can press the shot by Suni? But I tell you, on this one, he's got a lot of options on this ball.
Ioze, McInerney, and Saad discussing those options. Again, the battery being reminded you got to back up. And there's going to be a card shown because of the, or will there not be? I saw kind of a look towards the pocket.
Yeah, a very threatening look at the pocket.
It's Ioze, and it's in the back of the net. A brace for Ioze, and a pair of goals in the final 15 minutes could deliver a much-needed 3 points to the Indy 11.
Oh my goodness!
It might have been a little close for Suni Sa. It was closer than 30 yards out. It was closer to the spot where Ioze has done it so well.
You know, you're right. There might not be enough space for that ball to move the way it moves off of Suni's foot, but also, you know, you're using Suni as a decoy.
Ioze's 4th goal of the season. His first from outside of the 18-yard box. 4 goals allowed in the last 2 matches by the battery. 3 on set pieces, 1 on a penalty. And a 6-point swing in the Eastern Conference standings has taken place in the last 10 minutes. We're in the 4th and final minute of stoppage time. You got to think some more time will be added with the handball that was given. Potentially a season-changing moment for the Indy 11.
You got to stop the ball.
Guerra, the leave. Anunga ties us at 3. The lead short-lived for the Indy 11. And for the Indy 11, that is now 9 second-half goals allowed in the last 3 matches. Credit the battery.
You got Hackshaw running 20, 25 yards, 0 pressure.
Swing of emotions in this match have been monstrous over the last 20 minutes.
Who knocked it across? Was that Guerra?
Guerra, correct.
That is an incredible poise to know that, you know, there's seconds left in this match. And instead of trying to hit it and hope, to lay it across the top of the box to give yourself a better look.
For Anunga, it is his 3rd goal of the season. Might there be one more left in this one?
Got to believe you're looking at if the battery clear the box, the game's over.
Guerra heads it in.
Oh!
And that's it. The Indy 11 are asking, should that not be a corner kick? The referee says no. We have ended our time allotted for the evening. And both teams will take a point from this one. 15 minutes ago, that would have been a disappointing point for the Charleston Battery. Right now, they're thrilled to take that point back to South Carolina.